Hola, me llamo Leo y hoy voy a hablar a vosotros de mis vivencias en España. I just came back from Spain and it was such a wonderful vacation. I went there with a Spanish friend of mine from university and her son, and we stayed at her mother's place. Her mother lives in a town close to Madrid, so we were very close to the capital, and of course we went shopping and to museums and all the stuff. During the whole trip I never felt like a tourist. It was almost like as if I was Spanish myself. I didn't speak English, I spoke almost only Spanish, and that's really a miracle because I learned Spanish in school for 3 years, but that was 10 years ago, and ever since I finished school I've spoken Spanish maybe 3 times, maximum 4. You can imagine that a language you haven't spoken in 10 years is basically gone. It was like reactivating something that's deep inside my brain, somewhere in the attic of my brain. At the start of the journey I could understand some words people were saying, but at the end of the trip, a couple of days later, my passive Spanish was so good I could understand almost everything, and I could even express myself too. We met up with all her friends and family members and everybody, and I spoke to her mother in Spanish, and the people were very patient with me and they tried to understand me and they helped me with words. That was really great and I'm really thankful for that. Let's talk about the trans-related incidents that happened to me. It all started at the airport in Frankfurt when I was in the queue for check-in. There was just one lady with her little daughter before me in the queue, and she wanted to let me pass because she was having some troubles with her child. And I wanted to pass, but somehow her daughter was in my way, so she told her daughter in Spanish to let the girl pass. I could clearly understand the word chica, which means girl, which was referring to me because I was the chica that wanted to go to the check-in, and I thought, oh great, my passing is 100% non-existent because I obviously look like a girl. And this was just one event in a series of events that happened to me in Spain that were similar, like misgendering issues. The next great thing that happened at the airport was, of course, at the security check. I put my belt in my backpack, my jacket and all the stuff on the conveyor belt, and then walked into this machine where you have to stand like this and you feel like a criminal. And I thought it was over and I stepped out of the machine, and then a security officer talked to me and asked me, "Boy?" And I said, "Yeah?" And then he told me to follow him to this cabin thing where you usually have to undress. And I thought, oh no. But I didn't have to undress. But the next moment I can remember, he inspected my chest like this. And I was in shock, because I didn't expect this. I then had to take off my shoes and my socks, and they were inspected too, but that was okay. But this, I don't know, but I really didn't expect it, and that was a surprise. Maybe he just thought, oh man, this boy has muscles. I think my friend was very happy that her son and I got along with each other so well, because then she had some time to relax while I was playing with her son. And I have to admit that I usually can't get along with kids so well because they are afraid of me, I'm afraid of them, and it just doesn't work. But her son is really cool, he's 7 years old, he's very smart, and somehow it worked with him, and I was very happy because it could have been an awful trip if the child Leo thing didn't work out. So we were at the airport and we were playing and talking about boy stuff, and I felt like a older brother, but some topics were a problem for me, for example soccer. Like a good German Spanish kid, he's a big fan of soccer, and I'm not. And I'm probably the only German man that is not a fan of soccer. I love ice hockey. I have no idea which team you should be fan of, which team you shouldn't be fan of, which teams are good, which teams are around anyway. We talked, we did funny things. I accompanied him to the restrooms really like an older brother. We did boy things. And that was cool. Once her son played dog. I mean, children are playing animals, so he played dog. And he jumped up my legs, and I was just praying that he wouldn't accidentally touch my crotch area, because that would have been embarrassing. I was not packing at the moment, and I mean, he probably would not say anything if he didn't feel a wiener in there, but just a very uncomfortable moment. And here I should say that I'm stealth to my Spanish friend and hence to her son too. I wouldn't have a problem to tell her because she's very tolerant and I think she wouldn't have a problem with it at all. But so far I haven't seen the necessity to come out to her. Somehow I thought there will be a moment in Spain where I have to reveal myself, because if you live in the same house for a couple of days, I thought it was going to be difficult to stay in my completely male appearance all the time, but it worked. I'm happy that it worked and also a bit surprised, but it worked, so don't question it. Since I'm stealth to her, it was 100% assured that she would use the right pronouns and she would introduce me as a guy called Leo without any question. We met a lot of her Spanish friends, and for example, there was one of her friends who asked her, "Es una amiga de Alemania?" Is she a friend from Germany? And my friend told him, No, un amigo. No, a male friend. And that was great because I didn't have to worry about it. It was all clarified. It was clear that I was the guy. At one point we ran into some Palestinian friends of hers, and she introduced me to them, and one of the guys asked Hia, which means she in Arabic. And my friend said La, hua, which means no, he. And that was funny because I could understand that as well, but probably he thought at that moment that I couldn't understand Arabic, but I did. So sometimes it's not so good to understand languages because then you hear more than you would like to. But on the other hand, it's good because then you can understand what people are telling other people about you or what people are saying about you. Besides meeting a lot of Spanish friends, we also went to the birthday party of her uncle. And that was really like in the movies. A Spanish birthday gathering with the whole family and all the cousins and uncles and nephews and nieces and the whole family and the German. But everyone was very welcoming and they made me feel like a family member and spoke Spanish to me and I spoke Spanish to them, and we had a couple of drinks together. I didn't hear it at the party, but later my friend told me that some of them were wondering if I was her German husband. I mean, she is married, but not to me. So they were like, is he her German husband? But he looks so young. Oh, 28 already. So for me it was funny to hear it afterwards. It was a really nice and cool party, and the guys gave me like a bro clap on the chest. And I still have to get used to this because I'm still very careful with my chest area because I'm not used to getting touched there. And I think if you're transgender, you know what I mean, and if you're cisgender, you know what I mean. So you know what I mean. For me it's not a problem because, I mean, it means that people don't question me being a guy because a guy you can touch here, but it's still something new. The children there guessed my age, and one of the nieces thought I'm 15 or 16 years old, and one of the nephews thought I was 18. Well, at least not underage. One day I went shopping by myself in Madrid, and in 2 or 3 stores, I was in the men's section and one of the employees came to me and said, if you have any questions, just ask. and the ladies section is over there. And I answered, gracias. But I thought, and why are you telling me that? One last story, or well, actually not a story but a fact. In about 50% of the cases, the doors of the restrooms were not lockable. So I usually had a slightly paranoid feeling when I had to pee, and this was not just in bars, restaurants or cervecerias, but also the bathroom in the house of my friend's mother was not lockable. And whenever I had to pee or I wanted to take a shower, it was always a bit uncomfortable because I thought hopefully no one comes in. And actually twice her son came in while I was in the bathroom. Once I had a towel wrapped around me, and the other time I was actually sitting on the toilet, but somehow I managed to cover everything. But yeah, it was not such a pleasant feeling, and I like to lock the door when I have to pee. These were my incidents trying to be stealth in Spain. It was, however, a nice journey, as I said, but of course combined with some awkward moments. I'm curious how it will be in the UK, where it will be in March. But there I stay with friends who I'm out to, so it won't be the same situation as in Spain. However, as a transgender person, you can expect awkward moments to happen anytime and anywhere, so let's see. Have a nice day, hasta luego.